What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And today we're going to be talking about better effects for your lead tones, specifically time-based effects, reverb, and delay. I've got the Atomica High called up here with the gain at around 6.6 or so. You can kind of see the settings that I have on the screen. It is being boosted by the AC booster type in the input boost section, going through a pair of V30 cabs with just a touch, about 18% of some room level from our room section in the cab as well. Sounds like this on some rhythm stuff. And then some lead. So pretty dry. We're going to get some effects in there. I've got 3 tips for you and then a bonus 4th. Not really a tip. It's a little bit more of a management sort of thing, but you're going to want to stick around for it. So stick around to the end of the video for this 4th extra superpower trick thing that you don't want to miss. So my first tip for you is going to be this: parallel effects. So I am going to set up a reverb and delay in parallel, and we'll do a little bit of comparing and contrasting here. Let's pull in a reverb and a delay. These are just going to be at stock settings for right now with a couple of changes to them. So whenever we hook up anything in parallel, I'm going to go to my reverb block here. I'm going to hook this up as you see it on the screen here. So I've got my dry signal going straight through to the output, and then it splits off. It goes to my reverb, and then it connects back up, and then same thing with the delay. It shoots off, connects back up, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to kill dry on both of these. And the reason I use the kill dry is because it will still allow me to use the mix functionality. In the olden days of doing this in your Axe-Fx FM3, FM9, you would have to boost up the mix all the way and then use your level control. But now we can make life a little bit easier for ourselves. So then I'm also going to change the bypass mode to mute in. And this will ensure that we're not doubling any sort of volume should we bypass one of these blocks, which will especially come in handy when we're talking about lead-specific time-based effects. So I'm going to leave these at stock settings. We'll adjust them later on, but here's just what we have right now. Lead, delay, and reverb. So what's happening is the delay is happening separately than the reverb. That's going to help things stay clean when we're playing a lot of notes for our leads. So now, if I hook these up in series, delay into reverb, the delay is going to keep the reverb recycling. So it's not going to be nearly as clean and polished as the parallel way. So I'm going to bypass these, and let's just go ahead and copy this over to scene 2 and flip these things around over on scene 2 so we can hear what the difference is. So let me go back to scene 1 in parallel. Listen to the tails here. That reverb tail is quite a bit longer. And there's a little bit more boominess and bleed from the delay into the reverb. So that's why I like parallel reverb and delay for my lead tones. Series works great if you're doing a lot of atmospheric stuff. So if you're doing like volume swells, series, delay into reverb all day. But if you're doing like lead tones, I like to do this. It's a little bit more studio-like. So now we're back to our regular preset here. The second tip I have for you is EQ. We want to EQ these reverb and delays so they're much cleaner. And we're going to use something that is typically known as the Abbey Road methodology or the Abbey Road method here. So basically, we're going to shelf the low and high frequency quite a bit. I'm actually going to make this stuff a little bit more aggressive. This is the reverb right now. This is just large hall, again, stock settings. And let's bring this low cut up to, I would do it like maybe around like 250, and let's pull this back. The high cut on this model is already pretty aggressive. So I would say 3,500, maybe 4,000. I don't really need to do much work here. Let me just bypass our delay and we can hear what this sounds like. So that reverb has much less boominess in it, which is what we want. The worst frequencies that we have to deal with are these low-end boomy frequencies. If you're playing in like bars or event spaces, basically big square concrete rooms, you're going to fight the low-end frequencies a lot more, and this is one way to mitigate it, aside from just dialing in your typical amp and cab tones. But I already have that stuff set up. That's a different topic for a different video. Let's do the same thing on our delay here. And I'm even going to be a little bit more aggressive. 24 decibels per octave. Let's have this up around, again, 250, and let's pull this. This is a digital mono delay. So 3,500. Let's see what this sounds like. And because that's much like darker than my dry signal, it separates itself out a little bit more. It's not as boomy. We don't have as much low-end information in there. And because I'm significantly reducing the high end in a digital delay, one, it makes it sound a little more analog, but it also stays out of the way of my playing a bit more. That's much cleaner, then it kind of comes back in, right? If I play just a little bit more. Stays nice and out of the way. Now, I haven't touched the mix, the level, and in the feedback. I haven't touched any of that stuff. That's just all stock settings right now. You can dial that stuff into taste. This is just on routing and EQ for right now. Tip number 3 is stereo. Now, this might spark a bit of debate in the comment section below, which is totally fine. If you have your thoughts, go ahead and leave them down below. But one of the benefits to stereo effects, not necessarily stereo guitar, so I don't really have anything very separate going on from the left side to the right side. I have 2 different IRs going, but they're very similar. They're both V30s. One's a ribbon mic, one's a dynamic mic. That's the only thing that's stereo-ish happening, but it's not like I've got an amp over here and an amp over there, or I have any sort of swirly stereo effects, modulation effects. I'm purely going to be talking just about the reverb and delay. There's a lot of confusing information about running stereo with guitars, but a benefit to going stereo using, in this case, I'm using output 1 going left and right. One of the benefits for doing this, especially as it pertains to these effects, time-based effects, is separation from your dry signal. Let me explain. Our reverb is already doing stereo things. It's harder to hear. It's a little more subtle. I'm going to focus on the digital mono delay here. Listen to where my delay repeat is. It's right here. So I've got my speakers on either side of me. It's going straight to the center of my forehead here. Watch what happens when I delay the right side of this delay. Even though it says mono delay, like all the Fractal stuff is stereo anyway, but what we can do is it's got 2 of the same signal going. That's it's summing to mono. If I delay the right side just a little bit, a psychoacoustic thing happens where we now hear the delay on the outside. So check out how cool this is. Again, just for reference, here's everything in mono. If I play that a little bit better, right smack in the center, if I delay this 10, 12, 13 milliseconds, something like this, listen to this now. the delay repeats just shot out to the outside. This is a great trick. Listen to this as I play a longer, faster passage. It's shot out to the outside. If I go back down to center, and back to the outside, now my delay repeats are out here. My dry guitar signal is right here, and that creates more separation of what I'm playing versus the effects. Your audience members can hear your notes a lot clearer with this method. So now I'm just going to dial these in a little bit more to my taste. I might drop this time back down to about 350 milliseconds or so. 373, that'll be fine. And I'm going to reduce the reverb time to about 1.7 seconds. I think that'll work out pretty well. Sounds like this. I like that. I might want a little bit more feedback. Yeah. So now, here's super helpful tip number 4. What do I do when I'm at a venue and this is either too much reverb and delay or too little reverb delay if I'm playing in a really dead room? Well, here's a tip that you might want to pay attention to. I am going to assign my mix control for each of these effects onto one of our manual controllers. The manual controllers can be found here under the controllers tab down here. It's kind of hidden. You go to envelope/manual, and all of these manual controllers, there's 5 of them, can be assigned to anything that can take a modifier. So if I go over to my delay 1 here, and I assign a modifier to it, right-click it, we're going to put it on manual 1, and I'm going to adjust my parameter range. So let's say 0 at the minimum, and my max is 15%. So I'm going to double that and go to 30%, or as close as I can get it. Hey, right on it. I got it. Cool. That one's good. Now let's do the same thing. Now this is at 25%, so I'll do 50% on this. And manual 1, 0, and 50%. And I'll leave up, and yeah, that's pretty close. So right now, if I get out of my modifier menu, they go down to 0 because my what was this again? This manual is at 0%. If I go back to about 50%, now these will be back to about the same level they were at, 15 and 25. So now what I have on this manual, and you can put this manual on one of your perform pages. So let me go to my controllers. Here's manual 1. I'll put it just over here on my perform page, and you can watch this. I'll do this on the reverb here. As I move this manual, I might also call this lead effects. I can move this down. Let's say I'm playing in a really, really live room. I might pull this down here. You can see how this stuff will update. Or if I want a little bit more, I can adjust that on the fly, have it at my feet, have it on my rack, on the XFX or whatever. This will control those parameters on my lead effects here. That's something that I think is pretty cool that you can do in our Fractal stuff. My name is Matthew Dale. I hope you got a lot out of this. Drop me a comment below if you have any thoughts about lead time-based effects, and I'll see you next time.